Welcome to a journey through 100 deep and atmospheric facts about Germany. We are about to embark on a long, peaceful walk through the heart of Europe, wandering through misty forests, standing on the shores of ancient seas, and listening to the echoes of history in quiet cathedrals. Now, take a deep breath. Let the air fill your lungs slowly, and as you exhale, feel your body becoming heavier, sinking deeper into the softness of your bed. The world outside is moving fast, but here, in this moment, time has no meaning. As we prepare to travel through these landscapes, remember that we are all connected under the same night sky. I invite you, before you close your eyes completely, to leave a small, quiet note in the comments below. Tell us, from which part of the world are you drifting off tonight? Let us create a map of dreamers from every corner of the earth. There is no need to remember any of these facts now. Just let the descriptions wash over you like a gentle rain. Let my voice be the anchor that keeps you safe as you drift toward the edge of sleep. We begin now, in the silence of the wood. Germany is a sanctuary of nature, where more than 1/3 of the entire land is still held in the embrace of deep, ancient forests. These are places where the modern world feels very far away, where the trees stand like old friends in total silence, and the moss grows in thick, emerald carpets over the stones. Amid these vast woodlands, the Black Forest in the southwest stands as a legendary canopy of evergreens. It is a place of myths, where the sunlight has to fight its way through the dense branches, creating soft green shadows that dance on the forest floor as the wind moves the needles high above. It is in the very heart of these dark woods that the Danube River begins its life. It starts not as a grand river, but as two small, crystal-clear streams that join together in a quiet union, beginning a long and winding journey that will eventually cross half of the European continent. If we follow the spirit of the water far to the north, we reach the Baltic Sea. This is a landscape of constant change, where twice a day the tide retreats far into the horizon, revealing miles of glistening mudflats that reflect the shifting clouds like a giant silver mirror under the open sky. Nearby, the island of Rügen rises from the Baltic Sea. It is famous for its majestic white chalk cliffs that stand like silent, pale sentinels against the rhythmic crashing of the gray-blue waves, a sight that has remained largely unchanged for thousands of years. This sense of timelessness is woven into the very fabric of German life, especially on Sundays. In Germany, Sunday is a sacred day of rest, protected by law, where the shops are closed, the streets grow still, and the entire country exhales in a deep, cultural quiet. This appreciation for the slow and the traditional is found in every bakery. Germany produces over 3,000 different varieties of bread, a staggering diversity where every single loaf has its own unique crust, its own weight, and a deep earthy scent of grain that fills the morning air. As we move from the flat lands of the north toward the south, the earth begins to rise. In Bavaria, the Zugspitze reaches nearly 3,000 meters into the sky. Its peak is a world of rock and ice, often hidden from view by a soft, white veil of snow and shifting mountain mist. Tucked away in the folds of these mountains and valleys, you will find a landscape of legends. There are over 25,000 castles scattered across Germany, ranging from fairy tale fortresses to quiet, ivy-covered ruins that have watched the centuries pass in total solitude. One of the most gentle traditions to come from these lands is the Christmas tree. The custom of the Tannenbaum began here, bringing the fresh scent of pine and the warm, flickering glow of candles into the cold darkness of the winter months. Symbolizing hope and light, the Germans have long valued purity in what they consume. Since the year 1516, a special law has dictated that beer can only be brewed with 4 simple natural ingredients: water, hops, malt, and yeast, ensuring a consistency that has lasted for half a millennium. This same love for precision is found in the German language itself. It is a language of long compound words that act like small intricate poems, allowing people to describe complex emotional states or specific objects with a single, sturdy, and meaningful breath. Knowledge has always been a treasure here. Johannes Gutenberg changed the world forever in the city of Mainz when he invented the printing press. It was a machine of wood and metal that quietly clicked and turned, spreading the seeds of wisdom across the entire globe. In the industrial West, the city of Wuppertal offers a unique sight, a suspension railway. It glides silently above the river and the streets, carrying passengers through the air in a gentle swinging motion that feels like a quiet dream of the future from a time long ago. Despite being the most populous country in the European Union, Germany is filled with pockets of profound isolation. In the Eifel National Park, the night sky is strictly protected from light, making it so dark that you can see the Milky Way stretching across the heavens in silent, sparkling glory. The famous Autobahn network connects these distant places, and while it is known for its lack of speed limits, many stretches are actually peaceful ribbons of asphalt that cut through endless, bright yellow fields of rapeseed that glow under the spring sun. These roads often lead to Berlin, a capital city that is surprisingly vast, 9 times larger in physical size than Paris. This scale gives the city a sense of breadth and space, with wide boulevards and hundreds of hidden parks where the wind rustles softly through the old lime trees. It was in these very landscapes, under the shade of ancient oaks, that the brothers Grimm collected their folk tales. They captured the magic of the deep woods and the quiet moral lessons of the hearth, stories that have now traveled to every corner of the earth. The emotional depth of the land is also found in its music. Ludwig van Beethoven, born in the quiet city of Bonn, created symphonies that could move from the loudest, most crashing storms to the softest, most delicate whispers of a lone piano in a dark room. The history of the printed word remains a point of pride. The very first Bible ever printed was produced in Mainz, starting a deep national love for books and the quiet, scented halls of libraries that can be found in every German town. High in the Harz Mountains, time seems to have slowed down. Old-fashioned narrow-gauge steam trains still puff their way slowly up the steep hills, their rhythmic chugging and white plumes of steam serving as a living reminder of a much slower mechanical age. Because Germany shares its borders with 9 different countries, it has become a crossroads of European culture. Yet, it maintains its own unique spirit of Gemuet-Likit, a word that describes a state of inner warmth, cozy comfort, and a peaceful sense of belonging. This spirit of quiet observation led to many great discoveries. It was in a German laboratory that Wilhelm Röntgen discovered X-rays, a breakthrough that allowed us to see the hidden structures of the human body for the very first time. In the north, the city of Hamburg is defined by its relationship with water. It has more bridges than Venice and Amsterdam combined. Thousands of stone and iron pathways that cross over the dark, quiet canals of the great international port. When autumn arrives in the German countryside, the forests undergo a spectacular transformation. The leaves turn to shades of rusted gold and deep crimson, and as the air cools, the comforting smell of wood smoke begins to drift from the chimneys of old half-timbered houses. The world of sports and movement was also shaped here. The global brands Adidas and Puma were founded by 2 brothers in a small Bavarian town, turning simple leather and rubber into a rhythmic pulse of movement that reached every stadium on Earth. While many know the festive energy of Oktoberfest, its true heart is much quieter. It is found in the shared songs that have been sung for generations, and the steady, rhythmic clinking of heavy glass mugs under the vast, decorated tents. Faith and architecture reach great heights in the city of Ulm. Its cathedral boasts the tallest spire in the world, a masterpiece of stonework that reaches up toward the clouds like a silent finger pointing into the infinite blue silence of the atmosphere. Nature and animals are deeply respected here. Germany is home to over 400 zoos and animal parks, more than any other country in the world, where creatures from every continent live in quiet, carefully designed sanctuaries. Even the way we listen to music was revolutionized by German engineering. The invention of the MP3 player happened at a research institute here, turning the physical vibrations of sound into invisible data that could travel through the air. The culinary landscape is as varied as the forests. There are over 1,000 different types of sausage, creating a regional map of flavors that stretches from the spicy currywurst of the Berlin streets to the delicate white sausages of the Bavarian breakfast. The history of the nation is also a story of healing. The Berlin Wall, which once stood as a cold barrier of stone, is now a long gallery of art, a stretch of concrete covered in vibrant colors and silent prayers for a peaceful, united world. In the workshops of the Black Forest, time is measured with art. The traditional cuckoo clock was perfected here, a hand-carved wooden house where a tiny bird emerges to mark the passing of the hours with a simple rhythmic and comforting call. The German parliament meets in the Reichstag, a building that blends the old with the new. Its massive glass dome allows citizens to walk in slow circles high above the debating chamber, looking out over the silent rooftops of Berlin. The country is looking toward a quiet green future. Large parts of the landscape are now dotted with giant white wind turbines, their long blades turning with a slow, hypnotic grace against the gray and windy horizons of the north. The depths of the human mind were explored by philosophers like Immanuel Kant. He spent his entire life in the city of Königsberg, walking the exact same path every single day at the same time, his mind wandering through the vast reaches of human reason. Physics was reimagined by Albert Einstein, who was born in the city of Ulm. He looked at the stars and realized that the very fabric of time and space is not rigid, but fluid, swaying and bending like a soft curtain in a gentle midnight breeze. In the Spreewald region, the roads are replaced by water. People travel in long, flat wooden boats through a labyrinth of narrow green canals, where the only sound is the soft splash of a wooden pole pushing against the sandy riverbed. There is a deep patience in German craftsmanship. The first sparkling wine cellars were founded in 1826, where the tiny, rising bubbles of the grape were captured and aged in the cool, dark silence of underground stone vaults. Ancient history is still visible in cities like Trier. Founded by the Romans, it still features the Porta Nigra, a massive stone gate that has grown dark with age, standing as a silent witness to 2,000 years of human history. In the city of Regensburg, tradition is served every day. It is home to the world's oldest snack bar, a small sausage kitchen by the river that has been welcoming hungry travelers for over 800 years without fail. The power of the wind is harvested on a grand scale in the north, where 12,000 turbines create a visual metronome for the landscape, turning the invisible energy of the air into light for the homes below. The German language gave the world the concept of kindergarten. The word literally translates to children's garden, reflecting the beautiful idea that children should be allowed to grow as naturally and wildly as flowers in the sun. For those who wish to follow a path of stories, the fairy tale route stretches for 600 kilometers. It connects the medieval towns and landscapes that inspired the stories of Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, preserving the magic of the past. In the university city of Münster, the bicycle is king. There are said to be more bicycles than residents, creating a silent flow of two-wheeled traffic that moves gracefully through the narrow cobbled streets. Nature still holds deep mysteries here, such as the Danube sinkhole. In this strange geological phenomenon, the water of the river simply disappears into the earth, flowing through secret underground caves before emerging somewhere else entirely. The German economy is the largest in Europe, but it functions like a well-oiled machine. It is built on the quiet precision of engineering, the reliability of steel, and the steady, unceasing ticking of factory clocks. Visual history was changed in the town of Wetzlar, the home of the Leica camera. This small device taught the world how to capture a single silent moment in time, freezing memories on film forever. As winter settles over the towns, the air fills with a very specific scent, the aroma of roasted almonds, and warm, spiced mulled wine drifts through the town squares. A warm and inviting smell that cuts through the biting cold. The dedication to brewing is matched only by the variety. With over 6,500 different brands of beer, the country is a testament to the endless patience of brewers who wait for the fermentation to be perfect. In the east, the Elbe sandstone mountains offer a surreal landscape. Strange, jagged rock pillars rise from the forest floor, looking like the ruins of a city built by giants, frozen in a permanent state of sleep. The German National Library has a monumental task. It aims to collect and archive every single book ever published in the German language, creating a silent, vast fortress of paper, ink, and human thought. The country has a long and storied history of classical music. It ranges from the mathematical perfection of Bach's compositions to the deep, emotional, and sweeping waves of sound created by Wagner and Brahms. In the northern coastal regions, the architecture adapts to the weather. Houses often have thatched roofs made of dried reeds, which muffle the sound of the heavy rain and keep the rooms inside warm, dry, and still. Retail history was made in Berlin with the opening of the Kadu. It was the first grand department store, a palace of glass and light that changed the way people looked at the beautiful objects of the world. Culture is given immense space to breathe here. Germany boasts an incredible density of cultural institutions, with more art galleries and exhibition spaces than most other countries have cities. On the windy beaches of the Baltic and North Sea, you will find the Strandkorb. This special hooded beach chair is designed to protect you from the wind, creating a small private cocoon where you can watch the waves in peace. The city of Weimar was once the beating heart of the Enlightenment. It was here that great poets like Goethe and Schiller walked and talked, discussing the nature of the soul and the human condition under the trees. The German Constitution, known as the Grundgesetz, begins with a powerful, quiet promise. The very first sentence declares that human dignity shall be inviolable, a guiding principle for the entire nation. When spring arrives, the country develops a collective obsession known as Spargelzeit. It is the season of white asparagus, a vegetable harvested from the dark earth in the early morning mist and celebrated in every kitchen. The future of travel was hinted at long ago with the Avas in Berlin. It was the first controlled access motorway in the world, a long, straight line of concrete that pointed the way toward the modern age of movement. For those who love miniature worlds, Hamburg is home to the largest model railway in existence. It is a tiny, perfect universe where miniature trains run on an endless, quiet loop through miniature mountains and valleys. Legends of lost treasure still haunt the imagination. Stories of the Amber Room and hidden gold are still whispered about, leading explorers to search the deep mines and hidden cellars of the countryside. The raw power of water is on display at the Rhine Falls. As the most powerful waterfall in Europe, it creates a constant, heavy roar and a mist that cools the surrounding forest, a reminder of nature's strength. Before the quiet of spring arrives, there is the carnival season, known as the fifth season. It is a time of masks, costumes, and shadows, a final burst of chaotic energy before the reflection of the fasting period. Every year, the skies are filled with the migration of cranes. Thousands of these majestic birds rest in the German fields on their way south, their haunting, trumpeting calls echoing through the twilight. The agricultural landscape is a patchwork of small family farms. Here, cows graze in the morning mist, and tractors move slowly across the brown earth, continuing a cycle of planting and harvest that has existed for centuries. The delicate art of porcelain making was perfected in the town of Meissen. The craftsmen there create white figures that are so fine and detailed. They look as if they are made of frozen cream or solidified light. There is a deep respect for the balance between work and rest. The Feierabend is the cherished moment when the work is done. The tools are put away, and the evening is dedicated entirely to relaxation and leisure. The forests of the Harz were once the site of silver mines, deep in the earth. Today they are places of silence where the elusive lynx has been reintroduced to roam the shadows of the trees once more. The city of Dresden is a symbol of resilience. Having been destroyed in the past, its stone domes and towers have risen again from the ashes, reflecting the golden light of the Elbe River once more. Germany is leading the world in a quiet transition toward renewable energy. The goal is a future where the sun and the wind provide the power for every home, leaving the air clean and the forests. A simple pleasure defines the German morning, the Braten. These fresh bread rolls are often delivered to doorsteps in the blue light of dawn, providing a crisp and simple start to the new day. The medieval town of Rothenburg ob der Tauber looks like a town trapped in a glass globe. Its walls, towers, and cobblestones are perfectly preserved, holding the silence of the Middle Ages in the modern world. Far away from the sea, the Danube Delta begins its influence. But the river's journey through Germany is one of green banks, weeping willows, and ancient, quiet monasteries that sit by the water's edge. The German people have a specific word for the longing for far-off places, Fernweh. It describes a quiet ache in the heart to see the horizon and to explore the unknown parts of the world. Innovation is not always loud. Sometimes it is about order. German inventors gave us the hole puncher and the ring binder, small, humble tools designed to bring structure to the chaos of paper and ideas. The great Gothic cathedrals took hundreds of years to build. Generations of stonemasons spent their lives carving tiny details near the roofs that no human would ever see, creating beauty solely for the eyes of the sky. Football is more than a sport. It is a community. Germany has the highest number of football fan clubs in the world. Millions of people united by the rhythmic, hypnotic movement of a ball across the green grass. In the heat of summer, the beer gardens offer a sanctuary. They are traditionally shaded by massive chestnut trees, their broad green leaves protecting the people below like a giant natural umbrella. On the banks of the Rhine, a steep rock known as the Loreley rises up. Legend says a siren once sat there, her beautiful song blending with the sound of the rushing water to enchant the passing sailors. While the Autobahn is famous for speed, the driving culture is one of discipline. Most people drive with a steady, focused calm, moving efficiently through the landscape toward their destination without aggression. The spirit of invention runs deep, from the spark plug to the jet engine. These machines were born from a deep desire to understand the mechanics of the world and to make it move more smoothly. The coast of the Baltic Sea is lined with sea baiter. These are historic resort towns with long, white wooden piers that stretch out into the cold, salt-scented air, inviting visitors to walk over the water. There is a sweet tradition known as Kaffee und Kuchen. In the afternoon, it is customary to stop everything, sit down, and enjoy a cup of coffee and a slice of cake while the world continues to spin outside. Deep in the forest of Triberg, a waterfall tumbles down 7 distinct levels. The sound of the falling water fills the woods, which are inhabited by red squirrels and surrounded by ancient, damp ferns. The skyline of Frankfurt offers a contrast to the old towns. The towers of the European Central Bank watch over the economy of a continent from behind walls of glass that reflect the passing clouds. The air of the North Sea is considered to have healing properties. It is a cold, sharp wind that clears the mind, settles the spirit, and fills the lungs with the clean, salty taste of the ocean. Germany is a place of deep, true winters. When the temperature drops, the lakes freeze over into gray sheets of solid ice, and the world seems to hold its breath in a deep, white silence until spring returns. The city of Leipzig remains a city of books and music. It is said that the ghosts of great composers like Bach and Mendelssohn still linger in the quiet corners of the old churches where they once played. The rhythm of the day includes the Mittagspause. This is a sacred time for a midday meal and a rest, a break in the flow of work to nourish the body and reset the mind before the afternoon. The mountains of the Odenwald are steeped in myth. They are said to be the hunting grounds of the dragon slayer, Siegfried, a landscape where the line between history and legend blurs in the trees. The German people are among the world's most avid travelers. They are always seeking out the quiet, untouched corners of the earth, driven by a desire to understand the world beyond their borders. And finally, we find the concept of Heimat. It is a word that means more than just home. It is a feeling of deep connection to the smells, the sounds, and the history of the place where one belongs. Germany is a land of forests, of thinkers, of quiet precision, and of a long, slow history that flows like a river toward the sea. It is a place that values the silence between the words and the peace of a quiet Sunday afternoon. As we reach the end of our journey, let these 100 thoughts settle in your mind like falling snow. The landscape of Germany is now still. The ancient trees are watching over the silence, and the rivers continue their quiet path toward the sea. You are safe, you are warm, and the night is yours. If this journey has helped you find peace, consider returning to this sanctuary whenever the world feels too loud. By subscribing and joining our community of dreamers, you ensure that a quiet path will always be waiting for you. If you feel a sense of rest, perhaps leave a small like as a sign of your peaceful journey. It helps others find their way to this place of stillness too. But for now, let go of every word, Let the images of misty forests and silver rivers fade into the background of your mind. There is nothing left to do, nothing left to think about. Your only task is to drift. Thank you for wandering with me tonight. Sleep now.